Hello viewers, good evening there. As promised, in the next tutorial we're heading to Senior 6 Paper 1 Subsidiary ICT Guide. Now this paper was done some days back and it was just a theory paper, of which I'm going to do a guide to it in this tutorial. So in some of the images I took, there are 12. I'm going to be going through them to completely do all the 20 questions, because a subsidiary ICT paper has 20 equally weighted questions. That is 5 marks per question to make 100 in the theory paper. Now in the paper 2 and paper 3, the practical papers that have been done, I'm yet to do them in the coming week. Now this is the theory paper and this is the guide. 2024 Subsidiary ICT Paper 1, November, December, 2 hours and a half, and the numbers run from 1 up to 20. Straight away, number 1 is right here. Differentiate between data and information. Data, these are raw facts that aren't used for decision making, whereas information is organized data. And I put an example of a date here. Now this date is in form of data because it is a raw fact and it is not organized. It can't be used for decision making. And the processed data is now information that can be used for decision making. It is even organized. And I try to organize a date 26/11/24. I think it's the date today. Next up is for each of the items in the table below, indicate whether it is data or information. Now a family budget is information because a family budget is organized. Work is arranged in columns and rows. Students test scores in various subjects in a midterm test, that is information. And performance analysis, graphs, of course it is information because a graph is organized data. Each learner can have a bar to represent their scores. That is organized. That was number 1. Number 2, name the 2 print orientations for a document. Now there are 2 print orientations in a document. A paper is either in portrait or landscape. Portrait means a paper is of course standing, and landscape, a paper is the opposite. If you want to type a timetable, you can make your paper landscape. If I simply open a Word document here, for example, if I open Word 2016 and then I want to view the various orientations, this is how they look like. It is either portrait or landscape. So when I click at layout, then orientation, you see this is portrait and this is landscape. Paper is standing, paper is sleeping. That is it at number 2. Next up, identify 3 possible causes of a printer failing to print a document, and they wanted 3 reasons. Now number 1, a printer can fail to print a document because it is not connected to a computer. The cables are having issues. Maybe the cable from the printer to your computer is not properly connected. That is the first issue. And number 2, a printer can fail to print a document, of course, when you don't have drivers on a computer. Of course, a printer is going to require a driver so that it can easily communicate with the computer to print. If I want to print using a printer, I first put drivers on a computer. I first make sure that a computer has drivers so that a printer can easily communicate to it to print. Now, if your computer is lacking the drivers, it means that it may not print a document you want. And the last possible cause as to why a printer may fail to print a document is maybe it is having incorrect print commands, i.e. selecting a different type of printer. Yes, your computer may have like 3 printers on it, but again, I think you may have tried to select a different type of printer which is not the one you want. For example, if I open Word again on this computer, if I open a Word document on this computer here, and then I try to print using a different printer. An example here, connecting to printer. So if I choose a different type of printer, the machine may not work as one of the reasons I wrote in this guide I made, that incorrect print commands, i.e. selecting a different type of printer. It's what I'm trying to open here, but it seems the Word document is kind of slow. Okay, then the next was number 3. Give 2 functions of arrow keys on the keyboard. The first function is arrow keys can be used to navigate a Word document. If you want to navigate a Word document, you can use arrow keys. Getting back to number 2. Number 2 was about a printer, and the issue was incorrect print commands. Now, if I use a Word document, if I select another type of printer, you see the printer that is ready is HP LaserJet M402DN. So if I select another type of printer and I want this one to print, of course this one will not print because I've selected a different type of printer. Any printer in the drop downs here. Okay. Number 3, functions of arrow keys on the keyboard. Now, an arrow key can be used to navigate a document if you have a word processor, and an arrow key can be used in gaming and other softwares to control characters. The arrow keys are 4: up, down, left, right. So those are some of the uses of the arrow keys. Then the letter B states the type of data input by the following devices. Now a scanner is going to input images. A scanner inputs images, and a keyboard inputs text, letters. Microphone is going to input sound, stroke audio. That is what those input devices do. 4. Explain why the shutdown option is used when turning off a computer system. They're asking us, why do we always use a shutdown when turning off a system? Now a shutdown is this: if I click at the Windows button, a shutdown is under the power icon and shutdown is here. Now why do we use a shutdown instead of just using the wall socket? Now a shutdown command is going to protect your battery. If you're using a laptop, the machine is going to properly shut down. It means the battery won't be affected. That is the first point as to why a shutdown is used. Now a shutdown is also used to safeguard your privacy. If you use a shutdown, the machine is going to properly encourage you to save your work if it is not saved. Then it curbs power surges. When you use a shutdown, you won't have power problems. You won't have power problems, power surges. That is number 4, part A. Then part B, describe how the restart option of the shutdown menu functions. Describe how the restart option of the shutdown menu functions. So here you could write the steps you could follow when you're restarting. You see it is bold. When you're restarting your computer, what steps do you follow? So I first wrote that click at the button at the bottom left corner of Windows button. It is here, it's at the bottom left corner. So if you click there, you go to number 2. Click at the power icon, then comma, restart. Click at restart, and then the machine is going to, of course, restart. Save the files. If the machine tempts you to save the open files, you save. Now I'm not doing this because I still want my computer to be on. The machine will go off and will go on to start up again. So these are just the steps of restarting a machine. Windows 7, Windows 10, they could be slightly different steps, but they all push you to restart your machine. Part C of the number 4, before we go to number 5, give the advantage of switching the computer into sleep mode. Now why do we have to switch our computers into sleep? There is sleep here. It is near restart under the Windows button, then power, sleep is around here. Now why do you have to use the sleep mode? What's the advantage? Now if you use the sleep mode, the machine is going to use the minimal amount of power and keep the computer running. When I use a sleep mode, does not mean that my machine is off. It means it is just resting. So there's going to be minimum amount of power used from the wall sockets. Then I'm going to have quick access to the machine. If the machine is sleeping, I'm going to have quick access to it. So if I want to use it again, I'll just hit any keyboard key and then I'll get whatever I want with my machine. I don't need to switch it on, which could take some time for some machines. Okay. Number 5. Distinguish between multi-user and multitasking operating system softwares. So a computer OS, a multi-user, is going to be a computer operating system that allows multiple users on different computers to access a single system with one operating system. The multi-user is going to allow a lot of users on different computers to access your single system. For example, user accounts of Windows 10. I can access my computer using different accounts. That is called multi-user. Multi-user. I can access a lot of user accounts on my operating system. An example is in Windows 10. Then multitasking. Multitasking means it allows multiple users to perform multiple tasks at the same time, of course using the computer. For example, in computer games, I can perform a lot of tasks. Multiple users can perform a lot of tasks at the same time when instructing a computer game. Even browsers, I can open a lot of tabs in a browser and then I access whatever I want. So multitasking allows multiple users to perform multiple tasks at the same time. Then B, examples of multi-user operating systems. An example of multi-user operating systems, there is Windows as the first example. There is Unix, Ubuntu, Linux. And Windows is the most common one here. 6. Give 3 requirements for connecting a computer to internet. Now when I want to connect a computer to internet, I'm going to need an ISP, Internet Service Provider. It is a company that provides, of course, internet to me, and they can provide customer care or support to me. So that's the first requirement I need before connecting to internet. Then I'm going to need a modem. A modem, it can be used to convert telephone line internet to internet of my computer, modulator, demodulator. I can even use a router for internet. That's the most common one. I can even use a software for internet, like a browser, when I want to connect my computer to internet. There are a lot of points here, but I just came up with 4. In other words, the question even required 3. Outline 2 disadvantages of using internet. The first disadvantage of using internet is internet is going to provide illicit content or inappropriate content or wrong information. Illicit content is pornography. Inappropriate content is going to be wrong information. Inappropriate content could be content that is not fit for some age brackets, but it could be fit for some other age bracket. For example, betting could be fit for some age bracket and it is not fit for some other age brackets. So internet is going to provide that. Then internet is a pool of viruses if you don't use firewalls. The moment you connect your machine to internet, you're going to be exposed to firewalls. Actually, to viruses, sorry. So to avoid viruses, you should have firewalls on your computer, like the most common one is proxy server. A firewall is just a software that filters what comes to your computer when you're connected online. Number 7. Explain how the following network models operate. Peer-to-peer. Now a peer-to-peer is a model that has no server, but each machine acts as a server and client in supplying and receiving files. There is no server in peer-to-peer, but each machine can act as a server to one another. That is peer-to-peer. And if I look at my internet here, if I type peer-to-peer, then in most of the textbooks it is displayed like search under images. Peer-to-peer, the best I can give you is this. Machines are connected to one another, but without a server. Each and every machine is going to act as a server and a client in supplying and receiving files. Client server, multiple clients are connected to a central server to access resources like files. Multiple clients are connected to one server to access resources like files. Now if I try to key in client server network. So if I key in client server network, the best example I can give you is this. You see a server is in the middle and it is serving all the clients. You see, it works like that. And they wanted you to explain it. It is like multiple clients are connected to one central server to share resources. Then suggest one device that uses a simplex mode of communication. Now simplex mode means communication is one way, and they wanted a device that uses one way. It can communicate to you, but for you can't communicate back. The best example here I can give is a television channel. You're watching a channel, but you can't communicate to them back, you just watch them. Even a monitor of a computer, you just receive from it. You can't communicate to it in any way. That is the simplex mode. Supports only one-way communication. 8. What is ICT innovation? ICT innovation refers to the using of technology in new ways to create more efficient and organized working environments. You use ICT or use technology in new ways to create a more efficient and organized working environment. That is right. Or someone can even suggest that refers to something new or a change made in an existing ICT related field. And a change made in any ICT related field is an ICT innovation. Then suggest 2 areas where ICT innovation is applied. ICT innovation has been applied in education. For example, people have come up with e-learning and report systems, etc. It means these are 2 new innovations. They are new, but they actually lie in the field of ICT as something new, something that was not here back then. So education, they are here. Then research, we now have AI, we have ChatGPT during actually in research, in the areas of research. Even communication, we have new socials like X, etc, Instagram. That is it in the areas where ICT innovation has been applied. Give one example of an ICT innovation in one of the areas you have suggested above. Of course, in the area of research, I talked of ChatGPT and AI. People now use ICT innovation to research using ChatGPT and AI on their gadgets. 9. Describe the use of each of the following tools in presentation software. A placeholder. A placeholder is found in PowerPoint presentation. A placeholder is a pre-formatted container on a slide that supports content from a user like text. It is a container on a slide that supports user from you. Actually, that supports a user to type text or tables. Someone can say it's even a large text box on a slide. Now, if I open PowerPoint and I want to look at a placeholder, an example of my PowerPoint I use here. If I open, for example, PowerPoint, and then I create a slides. You see, if I click at this slide, there is this outline. It runs in form of a box. This one here, it's where I can type. Even this one, there are 2. This one is for the title, this one is for the subtitles, or for the rest of the work. So that is what we call a placeholder. It is a pre-formatted container where a user can type text or tables or images, etc. Animation. These are features that support motion of text, shapes, images. They give text and other objects motion in a presentation. Animation means a feature that gives your text motion in a presentation. That is it. State one area where electronic presentations may be utilized. Now, electronic presentations may be utilized in education. In classrooms, teachers present their notes using electronic presentations. Electronic presentations can be utilized in conferences. It can be utilized in marketing. If someone is holding a conference, they can run a presentation for people to view. And marketing, it's all the same. Someone can run a presentation marketing, maybe their business or their school. Number 10. Define the term green computing. Green computing refers to the using of computers in an environmentally friendly way. When you use computers in an environmentally friendly way, that is green computing. For example, if you turn off your computer after using it, if you utilize the usage of papers from the printer, that is green computing. You reduce the brightness of the screen, of course, to reduce on power consumption, that is green computing. And the next part is outline 3 ways of implementing green computing. How do we bring about green computing? Number 1, by limiting usage of papers. That is right. Instead of printing a lot of papers from a printer, you can move with a soft copy and use a soft copy. You're saving papers. You're not wasting resources, you're saving resources. Then you turn off computers after use. You don't leave a computer running overnight because you're going to waste electricity and you're not doing green computing. So you do green computing by turning off computers after use. Next is energy efficient hardware. Use hardware that is not efficient, that does not use a lot of energy. You use hardware that's not using a lot of energy. For example, use LCD screens that don't use a lot of energy instead of using CRT screens that consume a lot of energy. Then you should have e-waste programs. Have e-waste programs in your community as a way of implementing green computing. Number 11, that required some calculations. Here the following table shows files that have been saved on a flash disk, and the files are here 1, 2, 3. The space unused in the flash disk is 0.3. Now the space that was unused, according to my interpretation, is 0.3 GB. That means those are 300 MBs unused on the flash. They have unused 300 MBs. But so far they have 3 files on the flash, and these 3 files can add up to 200 MBs. If I add this, it can give me 200 MBs. So they have so far put 200 MBs on the flash, and they have unused 300 MBs. Okay. Give the possible content of the file that was modified on this date. They're asking us what content is on this file here. Now this file is image. It is an image file because the extension is .jpeg. That is an image. Then calculate the maximum capacity in MBs of the flash disk. The maximum capacity in MBs of the flash disk. They want us to display the capacity of the flash disk. Now the flash disk has had these 3 files that weigh up to 200 MBs, but it is having unused space of 300 MBs. So that means the flash disk has 500 MBs if I add these 2, and it can be written like this in form of GBs. So the flash has 500 MBs. Suggest 2 ways that can be used to create more space on the flash disk. So if I want to create more space on the flash disk, I can delete unnecessary content, or I can format the flash disk. 12. Outline 2 advantages of primary storage over secondary storage. Now primary storage stores data that is in active use. data that is being used actively by the computer, that is primary storage. Internal memory like RAM. Then secondary storage, this is not accessible frequently by the computer, it is even outside the computer, like a flash disk, that is secondary memory, or like a compact disk. Then the advantages of primary over secondary is primary has fast access to data, that is primary. It can easily be accessed by the computer during usage, that is an advantage. Then another advantage is it holds data temporarily. Primary storage is going to hold data temporarily, making it essential for processing tasks and operations that require immediate access to data. It can help you hold data temporarily during processing. 13. B, the letter B of number 12. Oh, I took a picture with a flash unknowingly, and the flash indeed is an answer at number 12. Part B is give any two types of secondary storage devices and one example of primary storage devices. Now, secondary storage, there's this flash disk and their memory cards, seed and compact disks. Then primary storage, it is random access memory, RAM, or cache memory. It can also be regarded as primary storage. 13. A software that is distributed at no monetary cost is referred to as, of course, it is a freeware. Freeware is distributed at no cost. Then suggest two ways in which each of the following parties benefits from the shareware. Now, unlike freeware is distributed at no cost, but shareware, at first it is distributed at no cost, but with time you start paying for it. It has trial period of time, that is shareware. And they're asking us two ways in which each of the following parties benefits from a shareware. How does an end user benefit from a shareware like WinZip or like Skype? These are software that are provided for a trial period of time, after which you start paying for them after a certain period of time. Even a decoder subscription, if you receive a decoder, you first view the first months for a trial period of time, and then you start paying after some allocated period of time. That is shareware. And they're asking us, how do end users benefit from a shareware? Now, number one, initially it is free to customers. End users are going to get it for free for some time. So the end user has some time to get the software for free. That is an advantage. And then the end user can fully understand the capabilities and flaws of the software. The end user is given ample time to study the software and understand its capabilities and flaws. Then shareware. How is shareware important to a software developer? Now, shareware is important to a software developer because there is communication between a developer and the end user. Of course, if the end user has your software and they are doing it within a trial period of time, there is going to be ample communication. Unlike the other software, without a trial period of time, someone is going to take your software and they are not given a trial period of time to even check whether it works accurately. But at shareware, communication is going to be in place. 14. Set two factors considered when selecting a data communication media. What factors do you consider when selecting a data communication media? Now, data communication media, it is just either guided or unguided. What supports your data to flow from one point to another is data communication media, like a cable, guided, or wireless, Bluetooth, unguided. And they're asking us, what factors are considered when selecting the data communication media? Now, we consider the nature of the message first. The nature of the message. For example, a bulky message nearby. If I want to transfer a bulky message, at a computer nearby, I'm going to use a cable. I'm going to use guided. And then if I want to transfer a smaller message in a close range, I'm going to use wireless. For example, if I'm transferring a bulky message, this one here, like a movie that is bulky over a GB from one computer to a phone, I'm going to use a wire guided because of the nature of the message. It is bulky. Then I'm also going to consider another side of it, that smaller messages like maybe audio, one song can be transferred using wireless or using Bluetooth or using any other wireless form. I always use Snapdrop for my phone and the computer. This one here, it is wireless if you're transferring a smaller message. Then next is distance. You consider distance when you're selecting a data communication medium. For example, longer distances like from one building to another, I could use cables. If I'm transferring a file from one building to another, I can use cables or network cables. B. Explain Bluetooth transmission medium in data communication. Bluetooth is just a short-range wireless interconnection. Those words are important. Short-range wireless interconnection of mobile phones and other electronic devices to exchange data. That is the meaning of Bluetooth. Give one example of a network device that converts analog to digital signals. Of course, that is a modem. Modulation, demodulation. 15. Suggest 2 job opportunities that a candidate who has done ICT as a subject can do. Now, a candidate can become a secretary in a small firm because they have studied word processing. They can become a secretary in a small firm. Then they can also become trainers because they know something regarding office package. They can train low-grade learners or primary learners. Those are some of the job opportunities one can get after studying sub-ICT at advanced level 2024. Then write the symbols used for the following intellectual property rights. Copyright, the symbol is here. Trademark, TM, and patent, the symbol is right here. Those are the symbols that can represent copyright, trademark, patent, respectively. 16 is select from the given list an appropriate term and fill it in the blank spaces provided for A and E, for A to E rather. They wanted us to pick one term and fill it in either A, B, C, D, E. A tool that enables people in different geographical regions to hold a meeting online is video conferencing. A malicious program that disorganizes the normal working of a computer is called a virus. Computers linked together in a small geographical boundary form a LAN, local area network. A computer crime that may result in loss of data and information is referred to as hacking. A network security system that controls incoming and outgoing traffic is called a firewall. Correct. 17, one of the last numbers. Explain the purpose of an address bus in a computer. An address bus identifies the address of the location in cache memory that is to be read from or written to. Now, someone can even say an address bus supports communication between the CPU to the RAM. A bus is a pathway where internal components of a computer communicate to one another. It is a pathway where a CPU, for example, can communicate to RAM. Now, there could be no wire from a CPU to RAM, but there is a pathway where a CPU can communicate to the RAM. Now, that is called a bus. And an address bus is just, it can identify location in cache that is to be read from or written to. I advise you to go with the first explanation I made with the bus, that a bus is a pathway that supports communication of the internal parts, because internal parts may not have wires. Some of them may not have wires linking them, but they communicate using the bus. State one function of the processor, a processor can fetch as a function, etc, etc. Other functions are decodes, executes, etc. 18. Actually, before I go to 18, it had C. C, list any two components of processors, control units, and arithmetic logic units is a component of a processor. 18. What is a search engine? A search engine is a program that searches for and identifies items in a database that correspond to keywords or characters used by a user. One of the key terms here is a program that searches for content on internet by use of a keyword. It searches for content from the internet or from the database of the internet by using a keyword that are specified by the user. An example of search engines, there is Google, most common one. There is Bing, common on iPhones. Then DuckDuckGo is a search engine. Now you see, if I open this, then I land into Google. Google is a search engine because right here I just type a keyword. For example, I type a keyword Bluetooth, and then I hit enter, and the machine is going to return a lot of information regarding the Bluetooth I'm searching about. And of course, if I was talking about a web browser, I would be talking about this pathway here in a web browser. But the question is not asking about web browsers. State the importance of the following signs in searching for a website. What is the use of a plus sign when I'm searching? Now, a plus sign is going to command Google to have or return pages that have an exact match. It's going to help Google return pages that have an exact match. And I even wrote an example here. If I search for an example, St. Paul, it may return something different from this other search criteria. St. Paul plus Nsanji, a district, actually Nsanji, a village in Uganda. So this Google is going to fetch as many results as possible from the Nsanji I am adding after the plus. So it's going to return St. Paul plus the Nsanji, or a word must be present in each and every result. Yes, it's going to return St. Paul plus all the words that could be present with Nsanji. For example, if I open this, then I type St. Paul, I hit enter. It's going to return St. Paul, who is I think an apostle. But if I put St. Paul, then I add a plus, then Nsanji. If I search for St. Paul Nsanji, you see the results are now changing from the apostle to the school located in Nsanji, and it's St. Paul Secondary School. Now the plus is going to help me add and make a word present in each and every result I get. It's going to make Nsanji present in each and every result I get on the internet. That is the use of a plus in a search engine. Double quotation marks, how are they important? They are going to tell search engines to look for the phrase within quotes rather than other words scattered near it. Google is going to look for the words within quotes rather than these other words that could be surrounding it. For example, i.e., if I type English not in quotes, then I type Premier League. So Google is going to return mostly results in Premier League, not English, because you're specifying that you mostly want Premier League in the quotes. So the quotes are going to help Google or a search engine look for a phrase within quotes rather than other words near it. 19, the second last number in the paper. Select appropriate terms from the list below and complete the statements A to D. An example of an operating system with a command line interface, that was DOS, disk operating system. One of the memory management functions of an operating system, that is buffering. Two examples of a language processor are, that is an interpreter and a compiler. And a tool that can be used to compress files is WinZip. WinZip can help you compress files. And lastly, number 20, the last number in the tutorial, is list 3 features that make desktop publishing ideal for specialized publications. They're asking us, why is desktop publishing good for publications like business cards, calendars, etc. Now, desktop publishing software has text boxes that support, of course, designing of publications. Desktop publishing software has text formatting features that also supports designing nice looking publications. Desktop publishing softwares have drawing and graphics tools. They also have templates which all help in designing nice looking publications. B. Give 2 outputs of desktop publishing software. Outputs of a desktop publishing software, the outputs that can be made by desktop publishing software are business cards, calendars, there are many brochures, memos, signposts, etc. They can all be designed by desktop publishing software. Now, that is my view, that is my take with the paper, that is my say with the paper that was done on Friday last week, Subsidiary ICT Paper 1 2024. That is it all. You can just go through the video and see all the questions I've been doing from number 1 up to 20. Thanks for the comments, the subscriptions, the feedbacks. You share videos, people download my videos. Thank you for all. And I think this is my second video about a theory paper. I did a video about Waukesha. I did a video about Waukesha 2024, if I'm to check here. I did a video and it was my first video at my channel, and it's here, Theory Subsidiary ICT Waukesha Paper 1. I did this video 3 months back, and of course I have more other videos at my channel, including this one I'm going to post. It is the 85th video, and it's about Sub ICT UNEB Paper 1. Keep on subscribing to my channel. I've done UNEB 2024 ICT Paper 2 Item 1. This is O-Level new curriculum. The video is 1 month ago. It is there. The latest 2 weeks ago I did a video about Item 2 Paper 2 Senior 4. More videos are here. I did a video about ICT Waukesha UCE Item 2 etc. There are a lot of videos on my channel, and please subscribe to it. And December has a lot of videos we are going to make, more to come. Thanks for the views I've made here, thanks for the subscriptions, and thanks for all. I wish you the best. A good evening.